Last year, we witnessed an event no one else saw in these shattering skies of secrecy. For a while now, I wondered how long this would stay in shadows, but I preferred not to hear the answer. I am Ventura Compania, call sign Spitfire. I am a lieutenant colonel in the ISAF Air Force, and also served in the ISAF Interstellar Expeditionary Force. Since the dawn of the Iron War in 2015, I have been through many journeys. Now, though, it's a brand new day. In July of 2017, during the final months of the alien invasion, various unmanned aerial vehicles were hijacked by a crystal virus and assisted the alien invaders in attacking Korea. The ISAF Air Force engaged them in these skies and successfully destroyed them. Nevertheless, we had to bring down the greatest weapon they hijacked, the Rainbird-class airship Condaloo. Several months later, the second Rainbird, Sung Cheon, led the second wave against Seoul. During a time of discord and disarray for ISAF, even though we prevailed in the end, an unethical ring of scientists in the Weapons Development Division were to blame for this chaos. The resulting infighting nearly cost us our victory. All while this was happening, the North Koreans played a shaky hand in infiltration, sending aircraft and troops into the fight against both sides. They kidnapped various ISAF members, including my wing commander, and it took several operations to get them back. I'm still not sure why they did this. Possibly to have a look at both forces, or to test the boundaries. That was all last night. Tonight, I knew something was wrong when the sirens blared again. There were no more aliens in this region, only humans. And that could have only meant one thing.
Firebird 1, I have visual on the unidentified intruder. Moving to intercept.
Roger, Firebird 1. Weapons hold. I repeat, weapons hold.
Roger, Firebird 1, weapons hold. Blue flight, you and me. Let's go in.
Roger that, Firebird 1. Lead the way.
Control, Firebird 1. Unknown aircraft is ID'd as a Quebec 5. I repeat, the aircraft is a Quebec 5.
The Nanshan Q-5 was a Chinese-built ground attack aircraft capable of supersonic speed and level flight, which was like its predecessor, the Soviet MiG-19. Now, though, it is a very old aircraft. The only nations who fly it in this region are North Korea and China, neither of which are welcome to fly in this airspace, at least not without express permission.
Copy that, Firebird 1. The aircraft is Quebec 5. Proceed to challenge it. Get it to land as soon as possible.
Roger that, Firebird 1. Moving to challenge. Blue flight, stay back. Attention unidentified aircraft. This is the ISAF Air Force. You have breached the border and are violating South Korean airspace. Follow me to land or you will be shot down.
Wait, are those really fuel tanks under his wings? No, they're not. They're bombs. They have to have been nuclear bombs purchased from China. These are always carried in pairs and dropped simultaneously because of their unreliability, which their creators know very much about.
Firebird 1 to control. The intruding bandit has bombs under its wings. Presumed nuclear. Repeat, presumed nuclear.
Copy that, Firebird 1. Force him to land as soon as possible.
I'll try and get a closer look. This flashlight will show everything. What? The pilot's not wearing a helmet, and probably not even a flight suit. What's the meaning of this? I can't shoot him down. The bombs could scatter radioactive debris all over the crash site, or worse, detonate. There's a runway down there. I'll guide him down. That should work. He's complying. He's dropping his landing gear. He must be desperate to escape somehow. He's going to land. Oh no!
Damn, that was close. Control, this is Firebird 1. The Q5 has crashed on the runway. I repeat, the Q5 has crashed on the runway.
Copy that, Firebird 1. Ground units will move in to contain. Magician Squadron will take over the patrol. You are clear to RTB at this time.
Roger that. Firebird 1, returning to base.
This is only the beginning. Of this, I am certain.
Good evening, Spitfire.
Stemmerbeck, how was your eye surgery?
It went very good. My intraocular displays have been upgraded. Now I can do more things with them. It's going very well so far. But anyway, much of it is quite an eyesore, especially after what happened tonight.
So, Mr. Enhanced Man, have you heard what happened?
Yes, this was indeed a North Korean plane.
His aircraft was easily detected and intercepted. He had no fuel to complete the mission, much less to return home, even if he had avoided our air defenses.
The pilot did not survive the crash. When the paramedics got him out, they found he had no flight suit and no helmet.
I saw it. I could not believe it.
He was also very malnourished. Looked like he hadn't had a meal for weeks.
Much of North Korea is starving, but do you think this guy maybe was a prisoner they just tossed into a plane and told to go down here?
Perhaps it was nothing more than a desperate attempt of a starving man for glory, or a suicide at someone else's hands. But I don't think that's all it was. I think we were fortunate this time. The second wave could be dozens or maybe even hundreds of Nadong rocket launchers.
See.
And now there are 2 nuclear weapons in South Korea's storage.
Well, how about that? We can't give them back.
It sent the Blue House into a frenzy. They are aware that the situation in North Korea is reaching an epidemic level. They believe it is now time for a decisive action.
What is the Korean commander proposing? Peace talks have not led to a resolution. The United States is delaying its shipment of oil and surplus until the North agrees to the inspection of the Yongbyon facility under construction.
And now the nuclear weapons are no longer a supposition, but reality. Not only does the North have nuclear weapons, but they also possess them in the form of gravity bombs. This will be the most dangerous threat to Korea since the Japanese invasion.
Especially now, when our military forces will be at their greatest stage of readiness prior to and during the Team Spirit exercises. In addition, we will have Japanese air and naval forces ready as well. That will be the perfect time for something to happen. Whether it's the North who does something, or us that do something. Either way, I'm sure ISAF will remain to its commitments. At least I will.
Something tells me that secrets are being kept from us. In other news, The ISAF division in the United States is testing out a new type of missile. Perhaps in the next few months, for better or worse, the maps will have to be redrawn.
I am Lieutenant Commander Taj Takanuva, call sign Aquila. I'm an adventurous av-human who was disguised as a normal human and sent to Earth during the time slip. I moved to America, where I eventually became a top ace. After taking on the front lines of the invasion, I became the prophesied Warrior of Light. It's a long story. Last year, the front lines had reached the United States. The colossal enemy had suddenly appeared in the heart of a nation. It was during the test flight of the state-of-the-art airship that it was contaminated by the crystals and turned against us. While this was happening, a giant praying mantis under control of the crystals appeared on the island of Manhattan and attacked the city. The machines then attacked the east coast of America, breaking through Pennsylvania even though the state border was thoroughly fortified against them. All the lines of defense were broken, and the last resort was the final operation of nuclear bombardment. But after the final battle of the planet Spherus, the crystal menace was finally destroyed. Its devastation has continued to be felt for years to come, as we have ourselves an economic crisis and depression on our hands. On top of that, a giant spider and several praying mantis are reported to be roaming free here. But things are looking good now. Here in Nevada, we're going to be testing a new weapon, one that will be most valuable in defending the US from further attack. Let's hope it works.
General, sir.
Good morning, Commander Takanuva. Good to have you with us.
Good to be back, sir. Thanks.
Now, today we are to witness the Lancelot being fired. Is that right?
That's right. We'll be wheels up in 2 hours.
It's good news to have some of them, as well as swatting out those damn giant bugs.
Yeah, it is unfortunate that it had to come to this.
Don't go on a flight test without knowing more about what I'm getting into. You mind filling me in? I was just going to get to that, sir. As you know, sir, my group has helped test the Army's THAAD system. In fact, we launched some targets from that same B-1. I know. Looks like THAAD's turned it into a money pit. You find a way to fix it? Not exactly. That's supposed to be an improved
Patriot system to destroy ballistic missiles in the upper atmosphere, or near space, at least twice as high as Patriot. The technology to place a small anti-missile missile close enough to a high-altitude, fast-moving target still isn't fully matured. It's literally a bullet hitting a bullet from hundreds of miles apart. THAAD can't do it except with plasma-yield warheads, which increases the cost of systems tremendously. Well, I had my guys start trying some things.
So you ISAF boys built Lancelot independently, I might add. You built it with money and equipment you don't have, and now your ass is in the sling. I realize that the fate of our alliance is tied up in this test, but what makes you think that Lancelot is going to be better than THAAD? You're using the same technology. Yes, it is the same technology, because no one has the money to build new stuff. But we attacked the problem from a different angle. We solved one major fundamental problem with THAAD. If THAAD is too far away from bad guys to intercept the target in the boost phase, why don't we bring THAAD closer? Closer to what? Closer to the bad guys. But there's still a few years of development, so we've combined THAAD with ABL. We're gonna launch an anti-ballistic missile weapon from a penetrating bomber. What? No shit!
Alright, we're approaching the target area.
Try not to mess it up this time, Saber.
Lay off, Knight. I got this.
This is the first bomber to use laser radar. You're looking at a radar image. The smaller wavelengths mean a more high-resolution image. But you told the Senate committee you'd only use off-the-shelf components for Lancelot. If this is the first bomber to use radar, how can it be off-the-shelf? Radar has been used in active homing missiles and artillery ranging and counter-fire systems for years. And the missile itself is off-the-shelf too? Yep. Good launch. Go, baby, go. Alright, what's happening now?
The next part of Coronet Tiger 1 Plus. See, we're not satisfied with destroying the ballistic missile. We want to destroy the launch site and all associated launch command facilities. Remember, we're over enemy territory, and we don't see any reason to be over enemy territory killing rockets if we can't do some more mayhem while we're there. The laser radar tracks the missile and at the same time
Computes the launch point and feeds it to the volley computers. All we need to do now is attack.
This is Fortress 1-2. Target acquired. Ready to attack.
Was that a cruise missile? Yep, a D-Model AGM-177 Wolverine cruise missile. The V-1 can carry up to 24 Wolverine or Lancelot missiles internally, plus 4 more externally. Externally, it can carry 8 HARM anti-radar missiles or 12 AMRAAMs.
AMRAAMs? HARMs? The B-1 can carry anti-radar or anti-air missiles?
It always could, sir.
Very, very impressive, Commander. First a successful ABM test, then a successful counterattack test. Interesting to think what it would have been like if you had one of those plasma yield weapons or a Wolverine.
So as a U.S. Air Force veteran, I've been sent to a B-1B Lancer unit in Nevada to train a new tactical strike unit. I have my pick of the most aggressive personalities in the flying game, yet I know it might take a while to pull this bunch of mavericks together to fight as a team. The team is comprised of Lieutenant Rink Seaver, Australian ISAF pilot Captain Rebecca Linton, Lieutenant John Knight, and Second Lieutenant Mary Wellow. These 4 were involved in an air crash with their previous B-1. Knight still bears a grudge against Seaver and blames him for the accident. Whatever the case, I'm going to need to pull them together and resolve the differences if we are to become America's new line of defense. Oh? What's this?
Commander Takanova,
Ah, Sturmovik. How are things?
we need to talk. We might have a serious crisis on our hands in the next few days.
Oh.
Looks like we'll have to get into action a lot sooner than we expected.